I've been to a lot of amusement parks, especially in the Midwest. Today, I'm going to be finding the best coaster at each one of them. In order for a park to count for this list, however, it must have at least 3 roller coasters, and I have to have ridden at least 2 of them. There are some here where I haven't ridden a certain coaster, but I would easily define it as the best in the park. Also, in this video, I won't be doing a ranking, I'll just be traveling west to east. Without anything more to say, let's get into the video. Starting off is the best coaster at Elitch Gardens. For this one, I'm actually choosing Halfpipe. I know Sidewinder has the better elements, but the pause on the second launch track is too long. Halfpipe, however, is constantly doing something throughout the entire experience. It starts spinning even before the first launch hits, and the spinning on the vertical spikes is just crazy enough to not be dizzying. Honestly, the only downside I have is that the restraints aren't the most comfortable, but that could have been from my sunburn on the day before. Up next is Arnold's Park. This park just barely counts for this video. This time, it's a no-brainer. The Legend is the best coaster there. This ride pulls good positives and decent laterals for a wooden coaster, and is very smooth. Most of the airtime pops actually give great floater airtime. Honestly, the main downsides for this ride are its short duration and lame drop. This is just one of the most underrated wooden coasters out there. The next eligible park is Worlds of Fun. It's Mamba. How can I not say that? There are no bad elements on Mamba. All of the moments that are supposed to give airtime at least give great floater airtime. The return hills all even give ejector airtime. This ride doesn't just have a focus on airtime though. All of the valleys between the airtime hills provide very strong positives. The laterals in the helix are very good, but they're not great. However, this ride isn't about laterals. The positives make that element so good. I'm not joking when I say that that was the closest I've ever been to blacking out on a roller coaster, going through the helix. If I told my past self that Mamba, of all rides, would be his favorite traditional hypercoaster, he would not believe me. This is where some parks are roughly at the same longitude, but the next park is Adventureland. Here's another no contest pick, but it's monster. This ride is all about the hang time, and it executes that aspect perfectly. Every inversion gives some hang time. The only element on this ride that doesn't deliver is the airtime hill going over where the Sky Ride once was. Even the funky first turnaround provides weird laterals. I love that the trim actually enhances the ride by slowing the train down to create even more hang time during those last 2 inversions. This ride is just perfect for funky inversions. The next park on this list is Valleyfair. Again, it's another easy pick. Renegade is the best coaster in the park. I keep saying it, but I need to. This ride sneaks in airtime and laterals into every spot possible. The lateral-filled turns have a sneaky pop of ejector either going into or out of them. Sometimes they do both. All of the airtime hills are twisted or have a low twist before or after they happen. If this ride was smoother and didn't have those god-awful seatbelts, I'd say it'd be a perfect ride. Heading south is the next park, Silver Dollar City. For once, this one was actually close, but I still went with Time Traveler. This ride has everything I like about roller coasters. Theming, great airtime, great laterals, dizzying inversions, you name it. I do have a couple minor nitpicks, but they didn't bother me too much. The last element was a little lame. It could have banked more to be an inversion, but it's the last element, it doesn't matter too much. I also wish they reduced the delay on the first launch to keep the adrenaline pumping, but it wasn't too long of a wait. All of the other bits of insanity push it to be my favorite coaster at this park. Going back to Minnesota is Nickelodeon Universe. I'm actually going with the near clone of the one I picked for Elitch Gardens. For this park, I'm choosing Avatar Airbender. It's a spinning ride that doesn't spin too much to get me dizzy, but enough to not bore me. It's quite fun to feel the pull from the repeated launches, and the airtime at the tops of the spikes is actually very good. If the restraints were better, I'd say that this ride would be perfect for what it is. Up next is Lost Island. I'm actually going to choose the one coaster here I have not ridden, Fire Runner. Is it really a contest with the other coasters here? I love Marugani, but there's no way it stacks up to the insane forces of Fire Runner. The laterals and airtime look insane for a coaster of that stature, and it looked to be quite stylized when I was last there. Despite how crazy that ride looks, I don't want to talk about its quality too much because I haven't ridden it. I don't want to make that mistake again. Taking the next spot is Mount Olympus. Of course, I have to go with Hades 360. Its roughness is the only problem. All of the airtime hills before the lift hill give great pops of ejector. All of the elements in the tunnel are crazy on their own, but the darkness makes those moments the best moments on the ride for me. The Hades Island between the tunnel sections is pretty crazy with the inversion and the overbank. Sure, the ride dies down after the second tunnel section, but it's the end of the ride. Who cares? It's just the sheer craziness of the ride that makes me love it so much. Next up is Six Flags Great America. This park has a lot of great coasters, but the best one there is Goliath. All of the elements slap on this ride, even the turnarounds. The inversions have great hang time and decent whip. The airtime moments are all very powerful. It may be a short ride, but the insanity of all of the elements makes it my favorite at this park. The next park to mention is Indiana Beach. It might be controversial, but I think Steel Hog is the best coaster in the park. I know Cornball Express has more airtime moments, but the elements on this ride are much crazier. Plus, this ride is much smoother. The inversions on this ride provide as much hang time as possible. The airtime on this ride is surprisingly more powerful, even during the slow Outer Bank turn. The pacing on this ride is all over the place, and some elements could have been made crazier. Other than that, this ride has a perfect small-scale layout. With 3 more parks to go, the next park is Michigan's Adventure. It was an easy choice here. I had to pick Shivering Timbers. This ride is all about the airtime hills, with a couple helixes. Thankfully, all of the airtime hills give good floater airtime, and the helixes gave fantastic laterals. This ride was a little rough when I rode it, but the roughness didn't bother me too much. This ride is very one-dimensional, but it executes that dimension very well. Nearly rounding this video out is Cedar Point. It's Steel Vengeance, which happens to be my favorite roller coaster in general. The airtime is immaculate, and the inversions all flow very well. When this ride doesn't know what to throw, it just sticks with an airtime moment, especially in the second half. The first half is filled with a ton of mixed elements that make it the perfect first half of a roller coaster. This is where my 2 favorite elements on any roller coaster are, the top hat and the outer bank. This ride is just a perfect roller coaster. To finish this video off is Islands of Adventure. I considered having Universal Studios Florida here, but with Rip Ride Rocket's closure, I decided not to include it. Anyways, I easily chose Velocicoaster. From the crazy inversions to the great theming, this ride never misses. I couldn't name any flaws on this ride if my life depended on it. The first half may not do well with the stats, but what it does with the inversions and the airtime makes up for it. And the second half constantly throws in elements that will never get less crazy. That was a decent amount of roller coasters. After this year, I finally feel comfortable making more random videos like this. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.